the second generation of immigrant people who've come to Australia. That's how we're loosely grouping and receiving. It doesn't always apply, but we've got a couple of very smart young people from here in Canberra. The first one is Samreen Syed, who is a law and commerce student at the Australian National University here in Canberra. Samreen, come up to the podium, please.
Globalized world, multiculturalism becomes more relevant every day. As people of different nationalities, ethnicities and beliefs mix with each other more and more, there is bound to be an increase in the number of multiracial households. My sister and I have a theory that perhaps in 500 years everyone will look the same because everyone will be from a multiracial household. Who knows? Even though right now there are millions of people like me, I believe that everyone's experiences and ideas about it are different. And so, since I can only tell you about my own personal experiences, I think I should first introduce myself. My name is Samreen, I'm 18 years old and I currently study law and commerce at ANU. I have 2 other sisters and we were all born here in Australia. Now you're probably all wondering what my background is, but I doubt anyone will be able to guess it. And that is because only 1 in 5 million Australians have this background, which I found out when I studied the census in 2011. I'm half Russian and half Pakistani. Very rarely when I tell this to people, I receive strange reactions like, not bad, or how does that work? But most of the time, people are amazed and tell me how cool it is. To be honest, these reactions more or less summarize my feelings towards my background, because there are many positives, but also sometimes when I just think it would be easier to be from one race. I also realized when I was writing this speech that you can learn the things I have learned and the benefits I have received from my multiple backgrounds just by living in a multicultural country like Australia, because it is essentially one big multiracial household. One of the best things about experiencing many different cultures is that it has made life more interesting for me. I have been lucky enough to visit my relatives in both Russia and Pakistan, and whilst being there I learned different traditions and was able to immerse myself into these cultures. Growing up, my parents taught us to speak Russian and Urdu, and we also picked up a bit of Bulgarian, which my parents used to use as a secret language. Unfortunately for them, it's not a secret anymore. Living in Western Sydney for much of our childhood also meant that my sister developed a strong Lebanese accent, which she could do for you at the end of this speech. I thought I would take this opportunity to embarrass her. And how can I not mention the food? I just love being able to wake up to a Russian breakfast, eat shrimp on the barbie for lunch, and biryani for dinner.
That's fantastic.
In a similar way, I believe multiculturalism makes life in Australia richer and more vibrant. For example, I'm sure everyone in this room has been able to taste the flavours of the world in one day like I have, without having to drive very far from their home. But apart from making life more fun, I believe that living in a multicultural household has helped me become a better person. This is mainly because I'm able to see the world from 3 different perspectives, which has made me more compassionate towards people of other races. It has helped me better understand where people are coming from when they express their point of view, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. Secondly, it has helped me see that people of different races are more alike than they are different. We may have different customs and beliefs, but my experiences have shown me that we all have similar goals in life. To be honest, I think growing up in Australia today would be enough to realise this, as I learned much of it from my friends at school, whose backgrounds were Australian, Lebanese, Serbian, Sri Lankan, Chinese and many more. It is perhaps for this reason that I do not consider myself a very patriotic person. The reason is that I believe the world is for everyone, and being from a different country doesn't make you a better person. But in saying that, if there were no countries, there would be no fun in world sports, such as cricket, and I don't think my dad and my Pakistani cousins would be able to survive in a world like that. Speaking of struggles, I think it is important that I touch on one of the biggest struggles in relation to growing up in a multicultural household, and that is finding my identity. I think this is mostly an issue when I have to fill out forms which ask me for my background and there is only room for one answer. What to put down is really an internal struggle sometimes. Also, sometimes they ask me what language I speak at home, but really they should ask me what language don't I speak at home. But on a more serious note, every person struggles with an identity crisis in their teenage life, and I think it is hard enough to find out who you want to be. But being from a multiracial background makes fitting in and finding out who you are more difficult because it adds more variables into the mix. For example, when I am at a cultural event, whether it be Pakistani or Russian, and am surrounded by a homogenous crowd, sometimes I feel like I don't totally belong because there is a piece of me missing, to that particular identity. This is not because I'm made to feel unwelcome or any negative experiences, but it's just a paranoia that I've always had. Furthermore, this happens only very occasionally, and on the flip side, it means that part of me belongs everywhere. It has also taught me acceptance of people who may seem different, and I greatly appreciate that. Growing up, I have also realized that making a multiracial household work requires a lot of sacrifice from my parents. I think naturally some cultural aspects are lost. For example, although my parents taught my sisters and I how to speak Russian and Urdu, and we can understand it very well, we are not fluent in either language, whereas my friends whose parents both speak the same language are. But sometimes there is a plus side to this. For example, hearing my little sister Ikra's attempts at speaking Urdu or Russian is very entertaining for me, and my older sister, as her accent is particularly off. It is also a very good technique to avoid doing household chores, as I also observed from her. A few years ago, when she was 10 years old, my mum asked her in Russian to do homework, and she replied saying that she did not understand what she was saying because she doesn't speak Russian. Then my mum told her the same thing in English, but this time she said she doesn't understand her accent. By that time, I was laughing hysterically, and my mum gave up. However, in all seriousness, not knowing our language properly means that we will probably never be traditional girls. But we can try to be the best of both. And I think if we can do that, my parents will be happy. Making this task easier has been the realization that the core values of different cultures, such as being a good person and caring for others, which are the most important aspects, often overlap, so I can be one and all at the same time. When I was writing this speech, I had to reflect on my life, and looking back, I have realized that although there have been some ups and downs, living in a multiracial household has been beneficial to me and my sisters. We get to experience the best of both worlds, and I think everyone in Australia is able to do the same to a degree, as it is a melting pot of cultures, languages, food, characters, and personalities, just like mine and us. Thanks.